Hello, I'm Joannah Connolly. I'm the editor of Real Estate Weekly and REW.ca. I'm here with Sasha Faris, who is the marketing director of Intergulf, and that is the company that is currently working on their latest multi-family residential project, Empire, which is based at Queen Elizabeth Park on Cambie Street. So, Sasha, just first off, can you give us a little introduction to Empire in terms of its size, the location, and some of its features?
No, most definitely. I think with Empire, what we've really achieved here is kind of the blueprint for what's going to happen for the rest of the Cambie Corridor. Empire consisting of 3 buildings, one smaller boutique building in the middle, along with Building B and Building A in the most south and most north of the project, spanning about 120 feet each. The rationale behind this and the reason why this project came to be in the size with the 3 different size buildings was because the city didn't want some sort of curtain wall happening across the Cambie Corridor with this one long swooping building that wasn't going to be really aesthetically pleasing. So what we really tried to focus on was how can we make a building reflect on the neighborhood and make sure that everybody goes home happy and everybody's a winner. So what we decided to do is we followed the natural curvature of the Cambie Corridor, which running from 29th all the way up to 30th is just a natural formation of the Cambie Corridor running parallel to Queen Elizabeth Park. That's why you have these 3 stunning buildings at about 7 floors marketing each, spanning of 159 units, 8 of which are townhomes situated, what you can see here on the back of the project on a laneway for a transitional piece so that you don't have such a large condominium building overlying the houses and leaving such a large shadow on them.
And what about some of the features of the development?
The development features range from across all 3 buildings, as a matter of fact, whether it's the greenscapes in between the buildings that we've made sure to kind of give the serene feel of a park lifestyle, having Queen Elizabeth Park beside it. The actual building features itself is an amenity room, media room as well too. There's a rooftop deck as well too for people to overlook, which is really nice because there are some views that are unlocked, as I like to say, from this project, as many of the homes in the area were only maybe 1 story, 2 at most, rancher-styled homes. So you do get some quite stunning views of the downtown core, which is relatively unheard of in this neighborhood. Other features definitely include within the units high-end finishings, appliances as well, an appliance package of Melee. Everything being Melee except for the likes of the Panasonic inverter microwave, which is still very high-end as well too, that accompanies the appliance package. The interiors were done by BYU, which is Bob Your Uncle, which is a local designer that's incredibly renowned within the development community. We're really happy with what they designed because given that the tone of this project was something that we wanted to pay homage to, you know, the park being beside us and really giving that classy feature, as this is a west side address. And you know, we didn't want it to be too unachievable because we knew we were going to be targeting downsizers, but the features within it, I think, definitely complement this project to its utmost capability. And I think we've seen a great sense of acceptance from our buyer, which is what we really strive for.
So, Sasha, you mentioned that there are these 3 different buildings there, and you wanted to fit in with the vernacular of the local area. But presumably there was something that was dictated to you as well in terms of the size of the site that you had and also the zoning. So, can you explain a little bit more about the story behind that? Oh,
most definitely. The kind of the way the Empire came to conception and the reason why this is what you see is going to be our finished product once it's completed. The city definitely had a play in it, but we were able to work with them really well to kind of get a project and a look that would be aesthetically pleasing, something the community would like, and that ultimately we would be able to build it. It would make sense for us and also for the city planners to be happy as well too. So the zoning behind this is actually quite interesting. What we like to call and what is called actually the Cambie Heritage Boulevard, spanning from just at the beginning of Queen Elizabeth Park and working its way down almost all the way to Oak Ridge on Cambie Street. There was rezoning already done for this entire area to allow for such buildings to be built and such attached multi-unit dwellings to be constructed. One thing that's very interesting for us is that there might have only been one smaller project before us, so we were really testing the waters with this project, really what we could achieve. So when I said before, just to reiterate what I said, that this kind of being the blueprint for this area, I think we really set the precedent for what this neighborhood has more to offer and more to come, and I think we're going to be a real hard act to follow as well too with this project. It did consist of 3 buildings with a break in the part because the city didn't want to see a building that was completely connected together. We only were allowed to go to about 7 stories as well too, because of the fact that this is a predominantly a single home neighborhood. So this is very new for this neighborhood, seeing this type of product. So we're really happy to be one of the first ones, and actually we are the first to be delivering a project like this, of this magnitude and this many units as well.
Great. And can you talk more about Empire's connection to the local area and the story behind that?
Definitely. Well, as you know, marketing being my background for this, the idea that I came up with is, well, we don't want it to just be another project, and especially being the first one, we want this to be a landmark. And what better landmark to pay homage to than our neighbor, the Queen Elizabeth Park, which I think is going through a revitalization process, and we're pretty much full a part of that. As you can tell from the name, it being Empire, it's kind of paying homage to, you know, Queen Elizabeth, the park in particular, and the fact that we're a Commonwealth country. So kind of it was a play off of that. But we didn't want to have that starkness and that rigidness of the old Empire. We wanted to kind of put a bit of a twist. So that's why we took the Queen's Rose, which you'll find in all of any park that's dedicated to the United Kingdom, will actually have the Queen's Rose, which is the pink rose. So we kind of took that hint of pink and we splattered it all over our marketing material to kind of give it that softness, but it still has that powerful feeling and presence that the project brings. So the connection to the park is one of our biggest assets, and really making sure that we're protecting this asset and that we really want to be a part of helping, you know, put forth what, you know, as a Vancouverite, as BC, or what Canada has to offer, and that's, you know, great urban outdoor amenities such as parks. Within that park, actually, as a matter of fact, is the Blodell Conservatory, which is going through a reconstruction process that we're actually a part of, that we've donated to help with the reconstruction process and the revitalization. Along with that as well too, there's an amazing restaurant, Seasons, which is within the park. Stunning views, kind of the same ones that you're going to have from your units at Empire. Along with that, there's actually a pitch and putt as well too for the more active, and then also just a walking trail throughout the entire park, which is really nice.
So I'm here with Sasha inside this beautiful presentation suite. So Sasha, can you talk a little bit more about this suite and some of the features?
Oh, definitely. The suite that we're currently in right now is a 2-bedroom. Within all our bedrooms, everything is standardized, and for that matter, all our units are actually standardized with all the exact same features. So what a lot of projects will happen is they'll have a smaller set of appliances, or say a smaller package for certain units, whereas we thought, you know, we want everybody to be standardized. Everybody's going to have the exact same quality of finishings. So we went forth with doing the exact same appliance packages, same style countertops, which are man-made quartzite, granite backsplashes in some of the washrooms and countertops, along with marble backsplashes as well too. So throughout the entire units, you're finding luxury left, right, and center. We didn't want to compromise, especially with this being the neighborhood that it's in. These units consist of 2 different schemes, a light scheme and a darker scheme. And we really wanted to make sure that we didn't go over the top of doing something that was a little bit too, let's say, fashion forward, or a bit too ahead of its time, because we wanted to make sure this is a classic product for a very classy area as well too. So that's why we wanted to make sure that what we were doing with this, keep it classy so that people are going to be happier for many years to come as well too.
That's great, and I understand that there are some environmental features within the units too. Can you talk us through those? Definitely.
The one thing that was a major component that the city wanted us to do was have this be a LEED standard building. So it's not an LEED equivalent. So a lot of the things you see marketed today is that they're LEED equivalent, meaning that they'll have things that could potentially be LEED, but they're not actually gaining any points, and they're not a LEED certified building, which Empire is going to be, and that's at a gold level as well too. The only one that's higher achievable than that, it would be platinum, and there's a very select few that have that designation, so we're very proud to say that we have a LEED gold building. Within that as well too, it has a geothermal heating system as well too. Each unit does have air conditioning as well too, which is something that you don't see offered in too many Vancouver developments, let alone any development for that matter, especially in this type of marketplace. So that's something that we definitely boast that the competition doesn't have within here as well too. So within that, I think a lot of the LEED standard equivalencies, or that we have been able to achieve to become certified, even comes with the glass. Lots of arrangement of glass windows, large, sweeping corridors that allow a lot of light in as well too, which is great. So these are the major factors, along with reusing some of actually the materials that we had on the site as well too. Even the houses that were previously demolished all had beautiful, masonry granite walls, and we've actually taken those aside and recycled them, which we're going to be using into our project. So it's actually kind of cool that we had something there before that we could contribute to this project. So we're really not just creating more waste, we're actually using what we had and recycling it back into our project, which I think is excellent, especially for such a green city.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I understand that within the 3 buildings, you've got more than 50 different floor plans, you've got townhouses. Can you talk us through the sort of range of floor plans and the price points that go with those?
Well, I think with the building that we did build, in the midst of building, the city really wanted us to see something that was aesthetically pleasing from the outside. So as a developer, marketer, and as an architect for that matter of fact, it's really hard to build a building that looks great on the outside and then also has very spacious floor plans with insides that are very ergonomical and that would work really well without having any dead space. But we really tried our best, and especially with our architects that we have at Ramsey Wooden, we really pressed forward to say, hey, we want to have a great looking building with great interiors. How are we going to do this? So we went back to the drawing board, and even though we do have that many varieties, and people say, well, I think some of them, they have so many different ones, how could they possibly all be great units? And we really strive that most of these units, though different, they vary in size and in shape, but every single one of them is livable, and that's something we're proud to be able to sell as livable units that people are going to be happy with, because we did realize that this is going to be an end user buyer for this marketplace, given that we're on the Cambie Corridor here, and there's a lot of people that have been living here for generations and generations that will be looking to downsize to this project. So it's great that for people that want to move into this type of neighborhood, we have something to offer them in a 1-bedroom starting in the high 300,000s. So for that first-time home buyer, we definitely have something for them. However, we do have on the other side of kind of the ultra luxury of a townhome going for $1.4 million, which seems like a lot, but even though with the full concrete construction, these are going to be quite sought after units as well too, along with 3 bedrooms, which are relatively unheard of within the development community. A lot of the time people steer away from them, but I think we were quick to adapt to this market, realize that this is something somebody's going to want, especially coming from a 4,000, 3,000 square foot plus home within the west side, from whether it be from Shaughnessy or the Cambie area. So we really were able to achieve getting so many different floor plans and really making it work for everybody.
So you've talked about the different floor plans. We know that there are lots of different property types and sizes, and it's clear that with Empire that you're marketing to attract the Asian demographic of buyer that might wish to purchase multiple properties for various generations of their family to be close to one another. So can you talk a little bit about the demographic trend behind this marketing strategy? And also, I'm really interested to know what came first, whether you were designing to attract that type of buyer from the get-go, or whether it's simply that the project, just the way it panned out, happens to attract that kind of buyer.
No, for sure. I think it's one of those things that, we do so much extensive market research and due diligence on these properties before we buy them to really make sure who are we selling to, and is there that demographic is going to be viable for us to get to, and will they buy this project? That being said, we would always like to kind of take the credit and say, oh, most definitely we did think about this. But I think being able that we have an incredibly talented and strong in-house team, we were very quickly able to adapt to the fact that we saw that, okay, who was our purchase going to be? It was definitely a Chinese community that was a strong backer of this project, given this neighborhood as well too, great schools, great amenities. We knew that they were definitely going to be one of the stronger buyers within this project. So we thought to ourselves, well, what can we offer to them that's going to be very appealing to them on a marketing sense? And we definitely looked at what our interiors were going to look like and all that, so to speak, to make sure that what we were selling to them was something that they would want to buy. And we definitely had focus groups, making sure that this is something we did right. Did a lot of polls as well too, to make sure that this is something that the demographic wanted to buy. But I think to go back to your initial question of did we really build this with the foresight of having this multi-generational, so to speak, buyer buying within this project? I think we, like I said before, adapt very quickly to it. So once we saw that, we had purchasers coming up saying to us that we love the product, but we're downsizing, we've lived in this neighborhood, we want something bigger. So given that we have a strong in-house construction team, we were able to combine some of these units together, which has been a great success for us. We were able to take, you know, 2 1-bedrooms, combine them into a 3-bedroom, creating some of these magnificent units that I think the architect was really able to help us out and redesign this building along the way, but without changing any of the exterior of the building. So we really do kind of work within almost a puzzle within our own building, be able to find all these small pockets, putting them together and combining these units. So it really worked out well in our advantage, though, to be able to see what the demographic wanted, adapt to it, and be able to deliver that product.
And have you had multiple generations of families actually buying more than one property within the project? Oh no,
definitely. I've noticed this in previous projects, but it's been it's been more prevalent, I think, in this project, given that I think that this is an end user's product. We're finding that the parents or the grandparents are coming in to purchase, and within that culture, it's definitely something to help out the children or help out or taking care of the elderly as well too, to buy another unit or buy a unit within another project. But I think because we gave such a variety within our project, it was something to say, well, hey, we don't have to go somewhere else to buy another unit for the family member. Why not keep everybody under almost one roof and almost one household, however, everybody having their own separate door and their own, you know, their own particular strata lot. So I think this worked out really well, that the buyers came in, had something for themselves, were able to invest for their children, and everybody went home a winner.
So Sasha, can you talk through your neighbouring Kits 360 project in Kitsilano, which is pretty nearby, and what lessons you might have learned from that project that you brought to Empire in terms of either the marketing, the design, the branding, or any other aspect of it?
Well, there's no market we love being in more than being in the Vancouver market itself. You know, this is kind of where we live, work, play. So building these buildings here, it's definitely something that, you know, strikes a chord for us, and we want to be able to stay in this marketplace. I think if we wanted to take anything from Kits 360, that it being, you know, so close to us, and a similar project, being in a mid-rise and close to the same amount of stories, and there's a few more units. We did definitely have the multi-generational buy there as well too. Along with that, we had quite a few extensive different floor plans, ranging from, you know, your initial first-time home buyer, or, you know, the seasoned veteran investor, or along with the end user as well too. We also noticed that, you know, we didn't want to you know, build an entirely exact same product, because each project is completely different. Sure. Kits, even though being close, it kind of invites this beach lifestyle, very, you know, very trendy with, you know, 4th Avenue there. A lot of great things for that. So the one things that we did kind of pull from that is definitely what Intergulf strives for, and that's quality construction and making sure that we have great customer care. And that was kind of the major thing that we thought, and those were our biggest successes with Kits 360, is that we made sure that we gave somebody a sound quality product that would be happy with at the end of the day, and then we just wanted to turn over that same principle into our other projects, and Empire kind of, you know, adopted all those same principles, and I think it's really worked out well for us.
Great. So Sasha, can you tell us what's next for Intergulf after Empire?
Definitely. You know, Empire has been a great project so far, but we always continue to look for new sites and expand and develop the Intergulf brand. That being said, the park at Metrotown will be our latest project. This project is situated adjacent to Metrotown Shopping Center in Burnaby. It's also situated on a park as well too, which is really, really neat that we kind of have the same recurring theme from Queen Elizabeth Park onto the park at Metrotown. It's right beside Bonsor Park, which is more of an athletic recreation park. So we definitely have this trend of giving the building its own great amenities, but also building our projects on certain sites that we're going to have excellent, you know, exterior amenities that are really going to complement the building and the living experience for that buyer. This project is going to be a high-rise, so substantially different in its structure from Empire, but this is something that we're seeing out there, is the densification of that neighborhood. So we're really happy to be out there. We have started doing teaser ads for this project, so you can definitely find us online, and you can also see a lot of our ads going to our social media outlets, as well too on Twitter and Facebook. But we're always continuously looking for sites throughout Vancouver, throughout the Lower Mainland, whatever we can get our hands on. It's something that we're really proud to be continuing to build the Vancouver and the Lower Mainland city skyline. So really happy to be able to achieve this and continue to build more great buildings.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sasha, for taking the time to speak with us today.
You're welcome.